Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondy Blue and I am back for another Queen Sugar review. Okay, so you guys, this episode is a continuation from what happened last week where we all are sitting at the table having dinner and they find out about the letter that the daddy left to Ralph Angel saying that all the land should be his because he feels that he needs it the most. He goes to get the letter. During this time while he's gone, Nova and Aunt Vi have a conversation about what's really eating at her about this situation. Because the farm never really meant a lot to her. So why does she care so much? Why is she so upset? And she starts to talk about how when she was a child, it was always about Ralph Angel. And then it was all about Charley. And for her, it feels like she was always the odd one out. Middle child syndrome. Okay, really, that's really what it is, middle child syndrome. But she also felt that her father was always trying to impress upon her that she should be married and she should have children, and not accepting the woman that she is and was at the time, which is someone who was free and not ready to settle down and not wanting to be settled in the way that he thought she should. And every time he would say things to her like that, she felt like it was some type of judgment on her. And when he left her, or all of them, the land, it made her feel like she was finally included and he finally, was okay with who she was. Especially since before he died, he had really stopped saying things to her about it, which made her feel like maybe he just had accepted what it was at this point. But when she finds out that she's not included in the will to have the farm anymore, now she feels like this is another judgment saying that she doesn't deserve this because she isn't the way I want her to be. And that's some painful shit to feel, especially when your parent is dead and you can't talk to them about it. That's some very painful shit to feel. And during this episode, even though they took the episode so slow and we really only go through a day and a half in this episode, I still feel like I totally understood why there was so much hurt. Not because Ralph Angel kept it from them as much as they needed somebody to be mad at, because they can't be mad at the person that they want to be mad at, which is their father, for leaving them out of something like this. 80 acres maybe? Either way, mass amount of land. And you would only leave all of it to one of your children instead of maybe giving them all pieces of the land. Like, I'm sure the farm doesn't take up all of the land. You wouldn't, leave them any land for themselves. Not to say that Charley needed it, but still, why wouldn't you leave something for Nova? You know what I mean? It's just, I totally understood how she felt. So when Ralph Angel brings the letter back, Aunt Vi reads it. And she reads it out loud, and it says how he wanted to leave it to Ralph Angel because Ralph Angel needed it the most, and he needed to feel that he had a place in this world. And he also thought that giving him something of ownership, giving him something of great responsibility will force him to step up as a man. And the thing about that is Ralph Angel, even though as a man has stepped up, does not have the legal or financial capabilities at this time, I feel like, to really run the farm on his own. I feel like he needs his sisters, and that's why it happened the way it did. But of course, Charley and Nova start to twirl this narrative around that maybe daddy wasn't in his right mind when he wrote this letter. That's why he never, gave it to his lawyer. And I feel like Vi said maybe he held the letter in the box because he knew that the time wasn't right for Ralph Angel to have all of that. Maybe that's why he wrote it intending to put it in there, but maybe felt like it wasn't the time yet, and that's why he didn't send it to the lawyers to have it certified. But either way, it doesn't have to be certified. If he left it, it's legally binding, if the court decides to look at it. And of course, Charley can get some good lawyers to fight it, but I'm hoping that they won't take that route with it. I really hope that they wouldn't take that route with it, and I don't think that they are. At some point, Charley gets a phone call from Remy back at the mill that there's a farmer, Mr. Duval, who needs to grind some cane and is in a tight spot. And she wants to do everything legit, paperwork, money, and everything. And Remy is like, I'm vouching for him. And she's like, he needs to do everything legit. We are under a microscope right now, fucking around with the Landry. So I need to make sure everything is on the up and up. And she made them, you know, fill out the paperwork. So she goes back into the dining room and asks Darla to go and make sure that everything gets done and they get the paperwork. She is her assistant. Ralph Angel does not want her to go. He don't want her to go because he feels like if she leaves that they're going to gang up on him. And I'm like, I don't know if you know, but she's only there in spirit. Okay, she can't really say anything about the situation, and she can't move anybody and making any decisions. The only thing she can do is aggravate the situation. And as a grown-ass man, why do you need your woman to sit at your side so you can have an argument, conversation, whatever you want to call it, with your sisters? Okay, as a man, you should be able to stand up on your own 2 feet and hold your own ground without your woman being there. And at some point, I feel like even though Darla was like caught in between them, and there was you know, this going back and forth with if she was gonna listen to Ralph Angel or listen to Charlie, at the end of the day, she needs her job for her well-being, not just for his. And just because it's his sister does not mean that that's what she's gonna do. She leaves and walks outside, and he goes outside with her, and he's talking about he can't believe she doing this to him. And she's like, I'm not doing this to you, I'm doing this for us. We need money and I need my job. And let's remember, the reason why I don't have my job is because I came here to clean your cane and I lost my job. And I need to be able to take care of myself and my son and us if that's what we're gonna do. But she gotta go and do what she gotta do with her job, which pisses him off. And it's like, well, I don't know why you feeling how you feeling. I mean, you know, she got to do what she got to do. And he doesn't understand that he's asking her to choose between her, you know, her fucking lifestyle, her well-being, her job, and him. And she would never ask him to make that decision because he would choose the farm every time. Charlie and Aunt Vi have a conversation, and it's revealing of what their relationship was like before we met them. And apparently every time Charlie would come to the farm or come to Louisiana, she would stay with Aunt Vi. And Aunt Vi is the one that made her feel comfortable and included no matter what. Not just like Ernest's other daughter. And that's how she always felt. That's how other people made her feel, because Ralph Angel and Nova were there and he was with their mother, you know. So it made her feel like she was on the outside looking in. And to have Aunt Vi be on Ralph Angel's side no matter what, and all of the fighting and talking about him, it makes her feel like Aunt Vi is now there for him and not there for her. And she's going through a lot. She's going through a divorce. She's going through a lot of things. And even though she puts on a front like she's so strong, this is difficult for her. And she wishes that she had somebody to fight for her the way Aunt Vi fights for Ralph Angel. So Aunt Vi apologizes to her, and we see her fight for Charlie when Charlie and Ralph Angel have their conversation, okay? And she's like, okay, let's just talk about real shit. How are you going to fund and actually run the farm without my help? Please tell me. I'll do it. I'll figure it out. I'm a man. I'll figure it out. Like, nigga, what? So because you got a dick and some testicles, that means you're going to be able to figure out this terribly hard situation, especially when some chick behind the counter just saw your face once again, knowing you robbed her other store that she was working at? Like, that shit can very much pop back up, Ralph Angel. So for you to be so gung-ho about you being the only owner of the farm, I'm feeling like you're not being smart about this at all. And they're trying to convince him that he needs her help. Charlie even at some point is done with being self-righteous and upset about it, and more so like, just let me help you. And he doesn't want her help. He doesn't want her help. He wants to do it on his own. And I'm like, all right, nigga, if it's going, you know, how the cookie crumbles. You saw how hard your daddy worked. And that's because he didn't have help. You have help. You have an opportunity to make this flourish and work by just accepting help from your fucking sisters. Like that, and I mean, she owned the mill now, so she helping you either way. So they go home, and the next morning, Davis brings Micah back to the house. And as soon as he gets there, he leaves to go see his girlfriend. But they have a conversation because he brought her an ice cream maker, something that he made her take off their wedding registry all those years ago. And it's a cute scene, and it's starting to look like something might spark between them again. Like, not something romantic, but even just some niceties. You know, they have no niceties right now. They're not trying to play nice for no reason at absolutely all right now, especially not Charlie. So in this moment, to see her be, you know, grateful and actually have like this tender moment with him, And then she says, you know, I have to be honest with you, because she has to ruin the moment. I talked to a reporter who was doing a story on me, and to deflect from one story, I gave him the exclusive on our divorce. And Davis completely loses his shit, because he feels like, why is it that I have to watch everything I do while you go out here doing fucking interviews about a divorce without talking to me first? So he's pissed off and he storms out. I'm like, well, this gonna bite us in the ass later on, ain't it? Nova goes to talk to Aunt Vi. And she says she looked at some records and found out that at one point Aunt Vi owned the farm. And she wants to know what happened there. Apparently Aunt Vi owned the farm back in the day. And her and Ernest fell out because she wanted to be with this guy, Jimmy, who was abusive, alcoholic, drug addict, asshole. But when she's a teenager, it's attractive. And he just knew the guy was not good for her and protested to her being with him. But she insisted on moving into a house on the land and, you know, getting married to him. And the relationship was abusive. And she hadn't talked to Ernest for years when he moved to California. Well, he moved back and went fishing with Jimmy. And when they came back from fishing, Jimmy packed his bags and left. And in the divorce, she paid off her house. She sold the land to her brother. And she also bought Jimmy out of his portion of the land that he received when they got married. So she did all of that because she wanted her freedom. And I feel like this was a mirror image of where Nova is in her life. She wants her freedom. And Aunt Vi is telling her that's okay for her to want that. So she packs her bags, and I'm guessing going to see Dr. Dubois. Remy and Charley have a conversation. And in this conversation, something that's been underlying with Remy comes to the surface, and that's his self-righteousness, okay? He expresses how calculated and thoughtful was the word he used, that he thought Charley was. Before, he used to think she was smart, but now he's starting to think of her as more manipulative. He didn't say manipulative, but that's how he felt, because she decided to release that story about her divorce. And he didn't think that I guess, was, you know, incohesive with what he feels like was right, because she was letting people in on something that he feels like should have been private. Whatever it was, the way he talked to her about it, he talked to her about it using her father, telling a story about how Ernest always talked about how smart she was. And when everybody would say, oh yeah, we know she's smart, he'd say, no, not smart. She's thoughtful. She's mindful. She thinks about things. And now what he's trying to say is, at first what he thought Ernest was saying he had a smart daughter, he was saying he has a manipulative, calculated daughter. And I kind of feel like that was fucked up of Remy. As nice as he did it, as southern and sweet and sugary as he may have said it, he basically called her a manipulative bitch. And I feel like that's fucked up, because you don't have the rights on my story, I do. So if I choose to tell it however I choose to tell it, and you're not in it or involved, you have no reason to be upset or fucking bothered. And if I was her, that's how I would have felt. And she told him he had to go. And I was like, good. Tell his ass he got to go, self-righteous ass son of a bitch. I can't stand people like that. Feel like because they've been through an immense amount of pain by being an unlucky person of losing a spouse at an early, you know, time in their marriage, with their so much love at the time and all that, losing, you know, somebody in their marriage. I feel like he feel like the pain he got from that gives him license to judge people. And that shit, no. I ain't like how he did that to her. Fuck out of here with that shit. Darla goes to the house to see the babies, to see Blue. And Ralph Angel is like, so it's like that, you know what I'm saying? Because she don't really want, you know, she's like, look, I know you mad at me, and that's fine. I'm okay with you being mad at me. And I guess he wants her to be like begging him to be okay with her and begging him to forgive her. And it's like, man, fuck you. I got to do what I got to do. And the only reason I'm here right now is to see my son, because I won't let your stupidity or your ego stop me from seeing my kid. So excuse me, my nigga. Excuse me. You know, so he like, you know, lets her take the little boy out swimming. You know, she was like, if you're not gonna let me in, then let me take my son swimming. So he like, Blue, get your clothes, we're going swimming with your mama. You know, and I'm like, man, I hope y'all don't break up. And he goes and talks to Hollywood and, you know, tells him how everything falling apart and everything is, you know, just shit right now. You know, and I'm like, why don't you understand why it's shit? It's shit because of you, Ralph Angel. It's shit because of you. I know you didn't mean to, but what you did and what that turned into was not good. You should have been honest with them and said you found the letter, but that you still wanted them to run it with you because you needed their help and because you liked the way it brought y'all closer together. But instead, you so stuck feeling inferior to Charley, you can't even realize what a good thing y'all have going on, you know, family-wise and business-wise. And it's always greater in numbers. You see how the Landrys roll? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always greater in numbers. I hate that, you know, you want to be so quick to do everything on your own when having your sister have your back is beneficial, my nigga, for real. Okay? But Ralph Angel talks to Hollywood, and Hollywood just encourages him to keep on going, brother. You put one step in front of the other and keep pushing. Keep going, okay? I ain't saying exert your energy too much if you ain't got it, but goddamn it, you just keep on walking. You ain't got to run. You ain't got to sprint. But I'm going to need you to walk, okay? I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking, I'm walking. I could be off. I'm probably off. And I keep on. So yeah, y'all, I was listening to Mary today, and I felt, you know, I just want to tell the truth. I just want to tell the truth. I just want to tell the truth. I don't like. Look, don't get me started. Mary will get you in a place. Jesus. I hope they come out with another album. I know they broke up and all of that, but y'all sisters, bitch, the producer is a husband. Make another album. Anyway, you guys, that was Queen Sugar. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see y'all in the next one.
On my mama, on my hood, I look fly, I look good, touch my